everyone. My name is Dr. Vaidya Desai Shah. I'm a consultant, robotic and laparoscopic gynecologic surgeon and an obstetrician and an international faculty for obstetrics and gynecology. Welcome to my official YouTube channel, Dr. Vaidya Desai Shah's Obstetrics and Gynecology. You can also join my Facebook page, Dr. Vaidya Desai Shah's Obstetrics and Gynecology Discussion Forum. So stay tuned, do post your queries, and let us all be a part of this discussion forum, right? So do like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel. And welcome to the third part of COVID Diaries in Obstetrics and Gynecology. This channel will help you to update yourself in your clinical practice, as well as it will also be very useful, as the discussion is going to be an MCQ based clinical case discussion. So it is going to be a very useful discussion for the upcoming NEET PG and next aspirants, and also for the practicing clinicians, because we are going to discuss all the available latest guidelines and evidence-based obstetrics and gynecology. All right, so let's begin the third part of COVID Diaries. This is COVID Diaries Part 3. So today's case begins with a 24-year-old gravida 2 para 1 with one previous abortion with 22 weeks of pregnancy, presents with acute breathlessness since 4 hours. There is associated history of fever, cough, generalized weakness since 4 days. On examination, pulse rate is 80 beats per minute, blood pressure is 100/70 millimeters of mercury, temperature is 102 Fahrenheit, oxygen saturation is 91%, respiratory rate is 22 per minute, pallor is positive, abdominal examination is normal. Lab investigations were sent and rapid antigen test for COVID-19 showed that this patient is positive for COVID-19. The management of this patient includes option A, admission to the designated COVID care center, option B, administration of the oral medications and follow-up, option C, home isolation with the symptomatic care and monitoring, and option D, admission to the intensive care unit. So now, if you look at this question, it is basically about the management about COVID-19 patient. So now ACOG in joint association with Society of Maternal and Fetal Medicine has come up with a new guideline, and this is the latest update by the Society of Maternal and Fetal Medicine in association with ACOG regarding the outpatient assessment and management for pregnant women with suspected or confirmed novel coronavirus or COVID-19 case. So this guideline states that whenever a patient first comes to us, step 1 is to assess the patient's clinical symptoms and exposures. So any patient with fever more than or equal to 38 degrees Celsius temperature or 100.4 degree Fahrenheit, or with other symptoms like cough, difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, chills or repeated shakings with chills, headache, sore throat, new loss of taste or smell, unprotected exposure to a known COVID positive individual, fatigue, muscle or body ache, runny or congestion of nose, right? Runny nose or nasal congestion, nausea or vomiting. If any of these symptoms are positive, if the answer to these questions is yes, then we must proceed to step 2. All right, step 2 is to conduct the illness severity assessment test. How ill is the patient? How severe is his illness? This is what we are going to do in step 2. What are we going to do? There is a questionnaire which says, does she have difficulty breathing or shortness of breath? Does the patient have blood, meaning to say this patient is having hemoptysis? Is she unable to keep the liquids down? Yeah, so is she unable to swallow liquids? Is she less responsive than normal, or does she become confused when talking to her, meaning to say their mental status changes? Does she have a difficulty completing a sentence without gasping for air or needing to stop to catch breath frequently when walking across the room? Does she have new pain or pressure in the chest other than the pain with coughing? And does she show signs of dehydration such as dizziness when standing? If the answer to all these questions is yes, we will proceed to step 3. Now coming to step 3. In step 3, we assess the clinical and social risks. All right. So in step 3, we will look for the comorbidities like hypertension, diabetes, asthma, HIV, chronic heart disease, chronic liver disease, chronic lung disease, chronic kidney disease, blood dyscrasias, immunosuppressive medications, and obstetric issues like preterm labor or inability to care for self or arrange for a follow-up if necessary. So based on these steps, now we can classify COVID-19 clinically. So let us discuss the clinical classification of COVID-19 infection, which has been accepted by FOGSI guidelines of India, that is the Federation of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of India. So this has been adapted from China's, right? So FOGSI guidelines in India have come up with the categorization of COVID-19 infection into 4 categories: mild, moderate, severe, and critical COVID-19 infection. In a mild case, mild disease, there are clinical symptoms which are mild and there is evidence of pneumonia on imaging. In the moderate, fever plus respiratory symptoms plus pneumonia manifestations are present on imaging. In the severe category, respiratory rate is more than 30 beats per minute, SpO2 is less than 93% at rest, PaO2 upon FiO2 is less than 300 millimeters of mercury. Those with 50% lesions progression within 24 to 48 hours of imaging are categorized as severe cases of COVID-19 infection. And in the critical cases of COVID-19 infection, we have respiratory failure requiring mechanical ventilation, presence of shock, or other organ failure that requires ICU care. So in this, what are the criteria for hospitalization? So if patients fall into the moderate or severe category, then they will be hospitalized, as well as those patients who were having very mild or moderate mild disease, and the patients who were on home isolation. If they show worsening of the features, then they will be hospitalized. Which patients must be admitted to ICU? All patients falling into the severe and the critical categories will be admitted to ICU. So this will include the patients with respiratory rate more than 30 breaths per minute, oxygen saturation less than or equal to 93% at rest, PaO2 upon FiO2 less than 300 millimeters of mercury, patients with more than 50% lesions progression within 24 to 48 hours in lung imaging. Quick sequential organ failure assessment score, that is quick SOFA score, is a very useful adjunctive tool for making decision for the ICU management. All right. So this is very important. Now the FOGSI guidelines has come up with the algorithm, and this algorithm clearly states regarding the management and isolation of suspected or confirmed cases of COVID-19. If they fall into mild and very mild categories, then they must be treated at COVID care center. If they fall into moderate category, they must be admitted to the dedicated COVID health care center. And severe cases of COVID-19 must be admitted to the dedicated COVID hospital. Why? Because they may need ICU facility. So this dedicated COVID hospital must be with the ICU facility. So this is very, very important. All right. Quick SOFA score is a very useful tool for determining whether this patient will need ICU intensive care or not, right? So in this criteria, we have 3 variables: respiratory rate, mental status, and systolic blood pressure. If the respiratory rate is more than or equal to 22 breaths per minute, then the 1 point is given to it. If there is an alteration in a mental status, 1 point is given to it. And if there is systolic blood pressure less than or equal to 100 millimeters of mercury, 1 point is assigned to it. A total of all these 3 points are done, and if the score is more than or equal to 2, meaning to say if out of this any 2 of the findings are present, for example, if there is a respiratory rate and mental status change, or if there is a respiratory rate and systolic blood pressure change, so meaning to say if the score is more than or equal to 2, then it is suggestive of sepsis and this patient needs intensive care. So with this, I would like to answer our question, which states that this patient is having oxygen saturation of 91% and the respiratory rate is 22 breaths per minute. There is fever, and this patient is having acute breathlessness. So these symptoms are categorized this patient to be a case of severe category of COVID-19, right? Now, this severe COVID-19 patient must be managed at a dedicated COVID hospital with ICU facility, and it is a criteria for hospitalization. So, intensive care hospitalization must be done. If we look at the quick SOFA score, respiratory rate is more than or equal to 22 per minute, and the blood pressure is less than or equal to 100 millimeters of mercury, the systolic blood pressure. So this patient is having a quick SOFA score of 2. So hence we will be admitting this patient to the intensive care unit, which is option D. All right. So A, B, and C are incorrect. Option D is the correct statement for this question, and hence with this we will be finishing our discussion on the third part of COVID Diaries 3. I thank all of you for patient listening. Do like, subscribe, and share my official YouTube channel. So this is Dr. Vaidya Desai Shah signing out. Thank you. Stay tuned for the fourth part of COVID Diaries, right? Thank you. Bye-bye. Good luck.